Hi, my friends. I have missed you and I have missed reading to you. So I thought this would be a great way for me to read you a book and for you to hear some stories while you're doing your school at home. So the book I'm going to read to you today is called Dewey, There's a Cat in the Library. So let's see what this book is all about. Okay. Dewey, There's a Cat in the Library by Vicki Myron and Brett Witter, illustrated by Steve James. Every night, people left books in the return box of the library in the small town of Spencer, Iowa. Funny books, big books, truck books, pig books. They left them all. But one night, on the coldest night of the year, someone left a strange surprise. A tiny kitten. When Vicky the librarian found him the next morning, the kitten was cold and scared and very, very dirty. Vicky took one look and decided to give him a warm bath. The kitten went into the sink brown and crying, but he came out orange and purring. I'm going to keep you, said Vicky, who already loved him. We'll name you Dewey Read More Books. You can live here and be our library cat. But Dewey had no idea what it meant to be a library cat. So he did what all kittens do. He played. He lounged on the newspaper, rode the book cart, and knocked pins to the floor. He goofed around with Marty Mouse, snooped in every open drawer, and always found at least one rubber band. But what Dewey loved most of all was people. Tall ones, round ones, quiet ones, loud ones. The little ones, however, surprised him, and not always in a good way. Look, Nathan, said his mommy, there's a cat in the library. Nathan bent down and said, Hi, Hooey Dewey Yooks. No, said his sister Hannah, it's Dewey Read More Books. Dewey squirmed. The boy was petting him in the wrong direction. Dewey loved to be petted, but he hated being petted in the wrong direction. Dewey was licking his fur back into place when he heard a strange noise. Wah! Dewey's ears perked up. He looked around. Wah! Wah! Dewey sprang to attention and crept really slowly toward the sound. Friends, what do you think the sound was? Surprise! The little people, Dewey discovered, came in tiny sizes too, and they loved to giggle and grab and pull and coo. Babies are wonderful, Dewey thought, cute and smelicious too. A few days later, Dewey went exploring and discovered in a secret room the most exciting things he had ever seen. Children's Story Hour. Wowsy whiskers, this looks fun, Dewey thought, as he pushed into the room with his nose. Someone shouted, There's a cat in the library! Dewey froze. He was quiet for 1 minute. Then everything went wild. And the next thing Dewey knew, he was being carried upside down. Oh my, Dewey thought, what should I do now? Late that night, Dewey talked to his friend Marty Mouse. The library is a wonderful place, Dewey said, but I'm tired of being pulled and poked and carried upside down. I'm not just a cat in a library, I'm a library cat. A library cat that helps people, I think, and I'm 92% convinced that that's the reason I'm around. Marty Mouse didn't say anything. I'm gonna do it, Dewey said. I'm going to help people. And he felt so happy that he threw Marty Mouse into the air, kicked him with his back legs, then slept on him like a pillow. The next morning, when the first people arrived, Dewey was sitting waiting to greet them right by the front door. All morning, Dewey acted like a library cat. He read with the mommies and grandmas. He helped the daddies work. He even shelved books with the library clerk. When he saw little Nathan, he turned a circle and a half so the boy could pet his back from his head down to his tail, the right way to pet a cat. I'm glad we're friends, Dewey, Nathan said. Dewey smiled at that. By lunchtime, Dewey was worn out, so he found a good box. First, he put his front paws inside, then his belly. He squished his back end down, wiggled around until he was all the way in, and closed his eyes. There's an orange muffin in the library, a girl giggled. But just as Dewey was about to drift off into sweet kitten dreams, he heard a heavy sigh. His eyes popped open and he saw a girl on the other side of the library. A sad little girl reading very quietly all by herself. He climbed up close and stared at her. She looked the other way. He sniffed her hand. She wouldn't play. He knocked her mittens to the floor. She let them stay. Then he saw her jacket and had his best idea yet. Silly always works. I'll be a silly cat today. The girl stared at Dewey. You look like a fuzzy hot dog in a purple bun, she said, and then she surprised him. She laughed right out loud. I love you, Dewey. Read more books. As Dewey nestled into her lap and began to purr. This is it, Dewey thought. I'm a real library cat, and it feels great. No, it felt better than great. It felt perfect. And that is the end of our story. I hope you liked it. So the activity I want you to do that goes along with this book is I want you to get a piece of paper and I want you to draw me a picture of the character and the setting of our story. So remember that the character in a book can be a person or it can be an animal. So think back in our book and who do you think the main character was? And the setting is where and when a story takes place. So think back and see, where did this story take place? Where was the setting? So go ahead and draw me a picture of the character and setting, and I can't wait to see it. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.